Hello, and thank you for watching Women Are Talking TV. I'm T. Billy Martin.
And I'm Looney Jules.
Hi, Looney.
Hi, Billy.
And today, we welcome back Carolyn Butts, the publisher of African Voices magazine and founder of Real Sisters Film Festival. She's here today to share what exciting films will be featured at this year's Real Sisters Film Festival, which is held at the Cumble Theater in Brooklyn every third weekend of October. Well, this year's third weekend of October, October 25th and 26th.
And joining Carolyn are two very special filmmakers premiering their films. Welcome. Maya B. is a filmmaker born and raised in Chi-Town. She currently resides in Brooklyn, New York. Her first short documentary, Warrior Queens, was shown at the DeSalle Museum of African American History in Chicago. She completed her first feature-length documentary entitled Silence in Search of Black Female Sexuality in America in 2004. The film has won many accolades, festival acceptances, and awards. Since then, her writing has gotten recognition. Her short script, Maya, The Illusion, won honorable mention in the American Gem Screenwriting Competition, and she was a BET finalist in the Wrap It Up competition in 2006. Woohoo! She is currently out of production for Afraid of Dark, which documents the treatment of black men in America based on stereotypes.
And also joining Carolyn and Maya B is R. Shanae Williams, a Queens-based filmmaker. She graduated with an MFA from NYU's Dramatic Writing Program with a concentration in screenwriting in 2008. She has been actively focused at pursuing a film career ever since. Her mission as a filmmaker is to create films that explore African Americans and people of color in interesting, challenging, and experimental narratives. Welcome, ladies.
To be here.
Okay, first of all, I gotta say, you see how long that bio was? We was doing a monologue.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
But I couldn't break it down. I had to share, you know, what your accolades and so on. Yeah, you guys have really been going in. But first things first, what brought you on to Real Sisters Film Festival?
Well, for me, I just finished shooting a film called Contamination. It's about a young woman who suffers from severe germophobia and OCD. And I was really looking for a place where I would be able to share that film and know that there'd be an audience for that would be interested in that. I mean, we don't really discuss, I feel like, mental illness enough in the black community.
Yeah.
And I knew that, you know, Real Sisters is always black female based. And I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to bring this film there. And Carolyn seemed to really like it.
The whole
Real Sisters crew. The whole crew. And so I thought, hey, this would be a great opportunity, and I'm just really excited for people to see it.
I'm excited it to be at the film festival as well. I mean, and it's a great choice coming to Real Sisters because, like you said, it's for women of color filmmakers. So, okay, so you came to Real Sisters, and then you got the Carolyn's call. Hi. Your film has been accepted. How did that make you feel? What was your first?
It was crazy because I was at my day job and I had to get really quiet, so I kind of had to run to the hallway and just oh my god. It was excellent because when you work on something and it's something different, you're not sure how people are going to receive that. And this was a different way of seeing an African American woman to someone who's so completely paralyzed by this situation and affliction. And I was like, wow, okay, so somebody sees it, somebody gets it, someone's seeing that there's potential here, that there's an audience here. And so I was just really grateful.
And this wasn't a personal story.
Not a personal story per se, but I do have,
I live in New York.
I live in New York. Yeah. I'm a slight germaphobe. I get off the train, I run to wash my hands, and I heartbeat,
Bust out that hand sanitizer.
Exactly. And then as I started to research the project, I knew that this was really a serious condition. I was like, you know what, this is something I really want to do, and I really want to tell this story. And that's how it all kind of came together.
Okay, so this won't be your last time coming to Real Sisters Film Festival?
I sure hope not. I would love to come back.
Good, cool.
Yes. How long did it take you? What did you write it?
Yes, I wrote it. I wrote it in October of 2013.
Okay.
Sent it to my producer.
Wow.
That's quick.
And
Wow.
I sent it to my producer, and I'm sorry, October 2012. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I sent it to my
That's
producer.
okay.
I'm getting my dates mixed up now.
Who's your producer?
And we just started like a campaign to raise money. We didn't do Indiegogo or Kickstarter. We just felt like, you know, at that point, I felt like it was like crowdfunding fatigue that was setting in. And I said, let's just start begging friends, family, relatives, you know, anyone we could. And we raised the money within about 6 months. And
That's nice.
we shot it in one location, so that really, really helped.
Yes.
And we got our team together, and we shot it actually over a 2-day weekend, which was the most intense
Wow.
thing I've ever done. But
But you
It's a
loved every
short film.
I
second of
loved every minute.
it. Loved every second of it.
This is a short.
It's a short,
Okay.
14-page script. We shot it in 2 days.
Yeah, and she has
That's
an amazing cast. She has
Sharice
Booth.
Booth, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk
Broadway
about that.
star.
Yes,
How did that come?
I briefly met Sharice at NYU. She was doing a reading for a thesis that my classmate was working on, and we just met kind of there. And then when I saw her in Ruins, I was like, I have to work with her one day when the script is right. I wrote the script, sent her a little Facebook message, and I was like, I have a script. Want to check it out? She read it. She loved it. She signed on, and like the rest is history. She was perfect for the role.
Smart
and
girl.
That's
Smart
amazing.
girl.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I was honored, you know, just to have the right talent. Because I mean, as you know, like part of being a great director is just having the right cast and having the right
Yeah,
people, you know.
absolutely,
So I was really fortunate to get her. Yeah,
That's amazing.
And
She
does-
was
she's
fortunate to
amazing.
be a part of this story.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
great.
I can't wait to see
Maya,
it.
Miss- so how was the relationship with Real Sisters for you? When you got the call from Carolyn, what was your first thought?
Well, actually, you know, Real Sisters premiered my first film, Silence in Search of Black Female Sexuality, and it won Best Documentary. So I knew that, you know, I was in good hands showing her Afraid of Dark because I worked on Afraid of Dark for 7 years. It was like my baby. So even when I met with the editor, it was like giving him the tapes and the footage. I had like 70 hours of footage. I was like, I really didn't want to give it to him. I was like, no! You know, and he
That's
took
some
it because
trust.
I was like, you know, that's my baby. So even when I showed Carolyn it, I invited her to a screening. It was like a final cut screening, you know, for her feedback. And it was like maybe 6 people to give their feedback, you know, because I trust her
Yeah.
as a festival director, festival founder, that I was in good hands, you know, and she would give me great feedback, and she did. So then when I was done, I, you know, let her know I was done, and I gave her the film, and, you know, and it just went from there. You know, she also, we just premiered it for the summer series
Yes.
at LIU, so that was
At the
my
Temple Theater.
first time letting it go into the world, you know.
How did you feel about that when you saw it and you saw everyone in the audience
I was
reacting?
so overwhelmed. I was like, I couldn't even thank people that were involved. I was just like kind of shocked. Like,
Sold
wow.
out screening. She's being
It was-
very modest.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was a sold
That's
out
great.
screening. I think everyone, like she said, the trailer, the anticipation of people just wanting to see it, and the promotions that it got. You know, even when I released the trailer, how it picked up and how it caught on. You know, even with the Kickstarter. So I knew that it's, for me, it's like a spiritual project because I feature so many men in it, a montage of so many black men that never received justice. I feel like, you know, it's their coming together to bring it forward, you know. That's how I feel.
So Carolyn, let me ask you, how was your reaction when you saw these two
Well,
films?
I mean, I was just really amazed at both of the films. I think they're so powerful. And we're just so happy to 2014 to have these films in the festival, and we're going to have 20 more as powerful. But I wanted to say something in reference to Maya B, is that there has been, including me, a big audience just waiting for you to finish the film
Yeah.
because you started out with it being the companion to the
Yeah.
black sexuality. Then
Yeah.
you took a turn, so I guess that's the spiritual
Yeah.
moment, you
Yeah.
know, in the film.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
How
And this
long-
was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
How long did it take you? I'm curious.
It took 7 years
Oh,
to do
that's right,
that
you did
film
say that.
because,
Okay.
you know, it's all self-funded.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
you know, when you do stuff on your own, it's like,
Yeah.
It's a labor.
you struggle with, should I continue? Should
Yeah,
I
you
stop?
know.
Should I keep going?
know.
Should I, you know?
Groceries.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I have a son, so it's just like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. How old is your son?
He just turned 16.
Give him a shout out, girl.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, my son just turned 16 Wednesday. So
Happy
he's a
birthday.
teenager.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Oh, that's
I'm sure
nice.
he's excited about this. So he's pretty much grew up with the film.
Yes.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's been with, she knows,
Yeah, every
with me
screening.
since he was little. Like, anytime selling DVDs, like,
Yeah.
he's like,
Awesome.
Yeah,
So
we must have
he's
screened
hustle.
your film like at least 7 times at different venues,
Yeah.
and every time you had
he
your
was there,
son
yeah.
with you.
Yeah, so he
Wow.
knows.
and he's interested. He's a filmmaker.
Well, no, he's in, he just performed actually last night for Afropunk's Battle of the Bands. Out of 900 bands, his was 1 in 17 that got selected to
That's
battle it out. So
amazing. Oh my
they're
gosh.
like a hip hop group. They're really pretty good. They're called The Others. So, he's in acting also. He's in a movie coming out this summer called The Teacher that he
Okay.
filmed last year, and they're filming again this summer. But, he said that's really not his passion. His passion is hip hop. So
But
I'm
he's
like,
in Afraid of
okay.
Dark.
Yeah, he's also in my film, Afraid of Dark. Yes,
Awesome.
also,
Wow.
Well, good for him. And he's so young
Very
and
good,
enthused
yeah.
about it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of growth. Next thing you know, I'll be working for him, too.
Me too. I might. You bought me a house.
All right. In the meantime, people, I need you to take a seat back, and enjoy these trailers from these two fabulous filmmakers. We'll be back.
When I first started the project, of course, I wanted to do a piece on black men, and I really didn't know. I knew I wanted to deal with black masculinity, sexuality, manhood, and over the course of years, it evolved into so much. Like I still deal with African proverbs. It takes a village to raise a child, and as Bob Marley said, when the rain falls, it don't fall on one man's housetop. Like we are responsible as a community for what happens in our community. It was more so like a duty, a fulfillment of leaving a legacy behind for my son. My brother's in it, my father's in it. And the generations of amazing black men that I know in my life, are also profiled in the film. So for me, it was basically paying homage, past and present.
Sometimes I get caught up and get into what other people imagine. Like you get on the elevator and you can feel like, if I don't notice these people, I won't feel the paranoia every time I get on an elevator full of white women and they're worried about it. When I get questioned for it, I said, why are we so concerned about them? Why is our egos and our self-esteem tied up so deeply into what other people think about us?
Never had a inkling that I would become an artist. I just took what was around me and I used my power that I had within and I spent it back out to the community that raised me. And I mean, it's like just as simple as that for me,
And I always say, well, if we change the mindset, the pants will come up automatically. So I'd rather put more energy into try to change the mindset of who you think you are and how you feel. And I guarantee you, the more they feel about themselves, and the more the chest comes out, and the more they feel that they're a man, proud black man, the pants will start coming up automatically.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Remember me? I'm T. Billy Martin, producer of Women Are Talking TV. Previously, I asked for your help with spreading the word about Women Are Talking TV. Help me spread the word on Women Are Talking. There's no better promoting tactic than word of mouth. This show is something we need to have talked about. And you did just that. Women Are Talking was nominated for 2 Be Free Awards. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I couldn't have done it without an awesome crew who I love posting pictures of on our Facebook page. Anywho, the invitation is still open to you. Yeah, you and all of your family and friends. I plead with you to continue to spread the word about Women Are Talking TV. We're creating a movement to move away from cattle TV. What I mean about cattle TV, well, think about it. Are you tired of the random TV and online shows of women just running their mouths, fighting each other and not saying anything? Remember me saying this?
What's mainly shown on TV is that we're money-hungry, fame-whoring baby mamas whose only dependence is determined at the hand of a male figure in some form of fashion. For many of us, that is not our reality. For the others, well, I'd rather talk about them on the show.
On Women Are Talking TV, I want to provide you with a platform to talk to each other, not at each other. Where can we start? Right here. Sharing, learning, teaching, and most importantly, listening. I invite you all, men and women of all shapes, colors, and cultures, to join me on Women Are Talking TV. Share your life successes and failures with exciting panelists as we all discuss ways to grow as individuals and as a whole. So join me on this panel or in the audience. Let's talk. Thank you for watching. And we are back with Maya B. and R. Shanae Williams and the fabulous Miss Carolyn. Yay. My next question actually is for you, Maya B. So when you decided to tell this story, what was your main objective? Your first film, it was about stereotypes of black men. And what made you want to tell this story?
Well, you know, when I was doing a lot of the college tours and universities and screening that movie, you know, I had a lot of brothers in the audience was like, what about us? What about us? You know, and then I started thinking like, yeah, it would be nice to do a film about black men. And I feel like the more I started researching, I felt like the stereotypes, the negative stereotypes of black men, particularly like the brute and the mandingo, were the stereotypes I felt that, you know, also criminalized him. And, you know, all these murders are surrounded around people playing into the fear of black men, either being over-sexualized or animalistic, you know, in a way. So, you know, I just really, after researching that, I really had to tell that story of like, you know, when I think of our brothers, you know, that like really bothers me, the death of so many brothers, young and older, who never received justice. Even Emmett Till growing up, you know, he was a child, and I'm from Chicago. He was, you know, from Chicago, and the street being named Emmett Till, and I just remember the show Eyes on the Prize and watching that scene of the funeral scene. That like really bothered me, the open casket scene. So that, like, and so many others from Sean Bell and really Trayvon Martin, because I felt like I could relate that back to Emmett Till, which was so many years back, but it's still forward because it's still the same. It's the same case in a sense because, you know, neither of them received justice. So you have to take a look at society and say, why is, you know, black men's life really not worth anything in this society? You know, why doesn't it have much value? You know, so I think that was my, me having a son, me being a single parent and having a black child and kind of gearing him towards living, having a lifestyle in the society. You know, you don't want to instill fear in them, you know, and I realize a lot of times that's kind of what I do, you know, even with how you react to the police. When the police stop, he knows that I'm like fearless when it comes to the police. I really don't care about them, but he sees my mode, and it's like, you don't know how much that's going to pass on to a child. Like, you're giving them the fear. You're allowing them to have fear of, you know, am I going to have a short death? Something going to happen to me when I leave the house? Because you're telling them, oh, well, you have this color skin. You have to be 2 steps ahead of the game. You got to do this. You know, and I just feel like a lot of times it's so unfair how we you know, shape our black men, you know, our black youth to deal with this world.
Well, I think it's unfair that we have to.
Yes.
You know, that it's sad actually for any mother, regardless if you're a mother of a son or daughter, that you have to like have that lesson, regardless of, I mean, not just about the birds and the bees, but about being an African American in this country. You know, I'm sorry, honey, but because of your skin tone, there are going to be people who fear you, and they're going to treat you in this type of way because they're insecure, and therefore I don't want you to feel something is wrong with you. I want you to still be you and still grow and be an individual, but be mindful that their insecurity may cause harm to you in some type of way. What do we teach our children? Should we tell them to react the same way, or do we ask them to walk away? Do we ask them to take the bullet or lay down and let it and take the beating in some cases? I think that's one of the hardest things that we have to deal with. To me, as a mother, as a single mother myself, I've come across that struggle as well, you know, and I think it's great the films like yours are being
and that's one of the things
all over the
the
place.
mission is Real Sisters is to actually have a forum where as a community we could talk about, what's happening with black men and women, and also about mental illness and having issues and real dialogues and trying to find solutions of how we can navigate what's going on and empower ourselves, our families.
I think that the solution starts within, though, in the household.
Yeah.
That's one of the solutions. I feel it starts with us admitting that we have a problem to address in the home,
Exactly.
before we can ask the community to chime in.
Yeah.
But on your film about,
Yeah.
is it a comedy?
It's not a comedy.
No
It's
way.
very-
It's very intense.
It's intense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very intense.
I was telling her, I flinched when I watched it because there's a powerful performance in it, and you really believe that this woman has this deep-seated illness and fear of germs.
Well, what made you decide to tell this story?
I always had wanted to write and direct something that dealt with mental illness in the African American community. I just feel like it's something that we just don't deal with, we don't talk about enough. I also feel like there's a sense of shame attached to it. In many communities, but definitely in ours, you just don't talk about it. You just got that cousin, you got that aunt, got that uncle. No one really wants to really deal with it.
Pride.
And then also I was thinking, like, anytime I see anything about OCD, any program, even something that came out a couple weeks ago, I've never seen a person of color, like they'd ever shown just dealing with this. And there's people out there who are really dealing with this. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna tell this story about a young black woman who has severe OCD, and she is so paralyzed by this that she cannot leave her home. And I really just thought it was just incredibly important to tell the story this way, because I think people don't realize how bad it can get if we continue to ignore what's really wrong with people, what's really happening. I feel like that sense of that silence that we have, the mistrust of the medical profession, which is another story altogether, but that kind of continues to exacerbate these problems for us. And I said, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to tell this story. And I felt like someone will feel
Needed to
this, be
tell it.
interested, or they'll connect to it.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help them, I don't know, but.
So when you asked your family, your financial support for help, how did they receive it? I got a story
Do
to
you
tell.
have a problem?
I just, my family and a lot of my friends know I've had this dream for a while to be a filmmaker.
Cool.
So, it wasn't that difficult in terms of just saying, hey, I'm trying to do this. Whatever you have, it could be $5. Just,
$5.
Let's just see what happens.
That's a pizza for two people.
I mean, my father was really
seed.
instrumental in that, because he really helped raise a lot of money for it. He took it everywhere he went. He kept saying to people,
great.
my daughter's
I'm
making a
really
movie.
thankful.
So I was like, oh my God.
He's
So-
single? He's single?
No, very married to my mother. But yeah, he was so instrumental in that, and that it was so helpful. And people were really like, yeah, this is something that needs to be discussed. They were actually happy to give the money to this particular film. So it felt great. And next thing you know, we're on set trying to figure out this whole thing, how we're gonna do this on a weekend, and we were able to do it.
So share with us what future projects you have coming.
Oh my goodness. I've been writing scripts. I actually want to shoot another short next year. I'm thinking of taking it kind of out of the box a little bit, maybe psychological horror, just something totally different for us. I have this desire just to see us in other things. I think we're
Exactly. I
so
agree.
layered and
I agree.
multidimensional as
Yeah,
people,
we're
and we have
so-
imaginations I feel like aren't being tapped into. I feel like we should just
Yeah.
try to take out the box, just try to think out the box, do something different. So that's kind of really my mission.
I feel like we're kindred spirits of some sort, because I always saw myself as the first black female superhero. I haven't figured out the outfit yet. I'm thinking, what I can do. I can walk now, I can, fly from, building to building.
You sure can. We need that.
I gotta-
Black girls
And
need
we
to see
need films
that.
like that.
Yeah,
You need
I always
that.
saw myself like that. Then I thought about it why haven't I seen that already?
Exactly.
It's true.
Besides Storm, who
Yeah,
was really
besides Storm.
who was really Oya, if you deal with African spirituality.
Yeah.
She
Oh, that's
doesn't
right.
have her own story. It's still such a small part of that
Yeah,
whole
they
movie.
told
do.
everybody else's story,
But
not
hers.
hers.
Yeah, but not that's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
So that's
Email
kind of
Marvel.
my.
Is it Marvel? They're gonna get an email.
We emailing you.
Somebody.
Yeah, I hope someone, maybe there's someone out there. I was telling
Yeah, write the
Shanae that
story.
we're still accepting films to the 30th, and
Yes.
Oh, nice.
we really would love
Okay.
animation,
Yes.
of comedy.
Bring it, y'all.
Bring it,
And so
y'all.
maybe there's a few superhero films.
We need it. Yeah.
I'm available from Tuesdays Saturdays.
Right, get it shot this weekend.
Exactly. I'm so excited about your
Yeah.
film, ladies. I'm looking
Thank you.
forward to seeing
Great.
it at the Real Sisters Film Festival. Looking forward to the red carpet experience
Ooh.
and all that great
Hey.
And so, Jeremy, what future projects you have?
I'm actually planning to move out of documentary into narrative.
Okay.
You know, as she said, I've been a horror movie fan since I was 3.
Me too.
Like my
I
first
know.
film was
can't.
Exorcist, and
Oh my
that's
God,
all
yeah,
I.
look
You
at
see
that.
my little vampire.
Right?
Right?
Like that.
Yeah,
Love
before
it, love
True
it.
Blood, I got every Anne Rice graphic novel you could think
love
of.
stuff like that.
And you know,
Walking Dead,
so
they need to put in the
I,
Walking
you know,
Dead.
because I deal with African spirituality, I practice Palo. You know, I'm working on. It's in my head, but it's gonna be on the script soon.
Yes.
Of
Reclaiming it.
dealing
Yeah.
with that African spirituality, because I feel like that's an aspect of us that needs to be explored, because you know those are our traditions, you know, ancestral work, and we shouldn't fear that. You know, a lot of times when you hear voodoo is always depicted as something so negative, but I just want people to see it differently, and also play on those fears of people who fear it, you know.
Expose them.
And really go all out. Like the only film that I really seen that dealt with that, I don't know if anybody ever seen Trilogy of Terror.
Yes.
But yeah.
was
So
that?
back in the day, it was like this little doll that comes to life.
Oh, yes,
It was
yes.
like an African doll.
Yeah, with
So,
the
African American. Why not explore that? They fear
definitely.
African stuff. Just take it
do
to
it.
the max.
I'm giving you
Go
reason
there.
There you go.
Yes.
So,
let me show you
Carolyn,
this.
please share with us what you have coming. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, we have a lot going on besides the film festival. I'll do a little African Voices thing. We have a new issue
Yes.
coming out. And the new issue is actually celebrating our ancestors. We've had Maya Angelou, Mary Baraka, so many strong people passed that we're dedicating a whole issue
Amen.
That's nice.
to our
That's beautiful.
ancestors. And, you know, we have hopefully a few more screenings coming up before the big October 25th and 26th.
Big shebang.
Yeah.
So excited. Well, that is our time, and I'm so sorry that we don't have more time.
I
But
didn't
Carolyn,
get
you
to
know
chime
you
in.
will always be
Thank
back.
you.
You already know that, and I hope you two will return as well. Thank you, ladies, for
Definitely.
joining
Thank you for having us.
joining us on Women
Thank
Are
you.
Talking. Just a reminder for you, join us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube in case you missed us here. In the meantime, visit realsisters.org for more details on the festival this October. Until next time, thank you for watching New York.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, girl.
Felicia.